Toronto Blue Jays for the 2015 Honda Home Opener. Please direct your attention to the video board for a special presentation to recognize 2014 Silver Slugger Award winner, Jose Bautista.
Every great sports franchise has its heroes. Those who rise above, capture our imaginations, and hold the reins for a generation. Those who fans and teammates look to as a leader, a legend, an all-time Blue Jay. Some rise with a young franchise, producing countless small steps towards that first giant leap. Some are homegrown. We watch them develop from draftee to call-up, from all-star to royalty. Others charge into the light when we least expect. They achieve things we have never seen before. They dominate on both sides of the ball. They join the elite.
Wonder Bautista's crush. Is it 5 in a row? Yes!
Ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys, please join the Blue Jays in congratulating Jose Bautista on winning his third Louisville Silver Slugger Award. To present Jose with the award are two Blue Jays greats, each of them three-time Silver Slugger Award winners as Blue Jays. Both are members of the level of excellence. Please welcome George Bell and Carlos Delgado. Congratulations, Jose. Ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys, please welcome the 2015 Tampa Bay Rays, non-starters, coaches, and support staff. The starting lineup for the Tampa Bay Rays, managed by Kevin Cash. Batting first, the designated hitter, number 7, David DeJesus. Batting second, right fielder, number 20, Steven Souza Jr. Batting third, the shortstop, number 13, Escobar Cabrera. Batting fourth, playing from base, number 3, Evan Gloria. Batting fifth, playing left field, number 8, Desmond Jennings. Batting sixth, playing first base, number 31, Alan Dykstra. Batting seventh, and in the outfield at the moment, catcher number 44, Rene Rivera. Batting eighth, playing center field, number 39, Kevin Kiermaier. Batting ninth, playing second base, number 1, Tim Beckham. Tonight's starting pitcher for the Rays, warming up in the outfield, right-hander number 23, Jake Odorizzi.
The best teams that I've played on in the past have had almost like a family atmosphere.
It's not about me.
Stepping out on the field with 24 men beside you.
Uniting, believing,
and doing whatever it takes.
everybody's got each other's backs to get to the ultimate goal, and that's to win a World Series.
If we can all come together behind one team, possibilities are limitless.
Doing everything for each other, you know, having the city behind us.
And I feel like that's what it means. You know, everybody moving forward with one purpose, and that's to win.
You take me down, spin me around, you got me running.
There goes Reyes.
Bautista has done it again. Left center field and deep.
And a tip of the cap to the crowd.
Come together, Toronto.
I just got that feeling, sugar.
Let's go.
Head first slide. Swing and a miss. He struck him out.
So hold on tight. I don't know where the lights are taking us. Something in the night is dangerous.
Swing and a miss.
He just struck out the side. The head first slide. He scored. Jose lines one to right field, and the Blue Jays win it. Slug, deep, left, center.
Everybody in is one. That's plain and simple.
We need to rally around each other and come together to make a playoff run.
And doing whatever we can to bring championship back to the city of Toronto and the country of Canada.
One nation.
One team.
Come together.
Please welcome your 2015 Toronto Blue Jays, along with coaches and clubhouse staff. Visiting clubhouse manager Len Frelick. Equipment manager Jeff Ross. Clubhouse manager Kevin Malloy. Massage therapist Todd Earl. Strength and conditioning coordinator Chris Joyner. Assistant trainer Mike Frostad. Head trainer George Poulos. In the bullpen catcher Alex Andriamas. Also in the bullpen catcher Craig Denson. In the bullpen as well, batting practice pitcher Jesus Figueroa. Major League Advanced Scouting Coordinator Ryan Middleman. Coordinator Advanced Scouting and Video Harry Einbinder. Video Operations Robert Bowmander. Third base coach Luis Rivera. Bench coach DeMarlo Hale. First base coach Tim Leeper. Hitting coach Brooke Jacoby. Assistant hitting coach Eric Owens. In the bullpen, pitching coach Pete Walker. Also in the bullpen coach Dane Johnson. Infielder number 18, Steve Tollison. Infielder number 23, Danny Valencia. Pitcher number 25, Marco Estrada. Pitcher number 27, Brett Cecil. Catcher number 30, Deoner Navarro. Pitcher number 31, Liam Hendricks. Pitcher number 32, Daniel Norris. Pitcher number 36, Drew Hutchison. Pitcher number 41, Aaron Sanchez. Pitcher number 49, Colt Hines. Pitcher number 51, Miguel Castro. Pitcher number 54, Roberto Osuna. Pitcher number 56, Mark Burley. Pitcher number 58, Todd Redmond. Pitcher number 62, Aaron Lou. Starting lineup for your Toronto Blue Jays, managed by John Gibbons. Leading off, the shortstop number 7, Jose Reyes. Second, center fielder number 45, Dalton Pompey. Batting third, the right fielder number 19, Jose Bautista. Batting fourth, the designated hitter number 10, Edwin Encarnacion. Batting fifth, playing third base, number 20, Josh Donaldson. Batting seventh, warming in the bullpen, catcher. Correction, number 6, first baseman, number 14, Justin Smoke. Warming in the bullpen and batting 7th, catcher, number 55, Russell Martin. Batting 8th, playing left field, number 11, Kevin Pillar. Batting 9th, playing second base, number 29, Devin Travis. And pitching for the Blue Jays tonight, warming in the bullpen, right-hander number 43, R.A. Dickey. Ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys, in honor of our home opener, we're proud to have presenting the colors, the Royal Canadian Mounted Police. Ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys, we ask you to please rise and remove your caps. With us this evening to perform the American National Anthem is Douglas Tranquata.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last fast gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Carrying our flag tonight are 250 members of the Canadian Armed Forces. Ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys, we ask you to please come together and join organist Ken Kaufman and sing the Canadian National Anthem. Ladies and gentlemen, the Toronto Blue Jays are honored to welcome the 10th Commissioner of Major League Baseball, Robert D. Manfred Jr. The Commissioner is passionate about growing the game while increasing baseball's reach into communities. Accompanying the Commissioner tonight is 9-year-old Ben Shepard. Joining them is Blue Jays Hall of Famer Roberto Alomar. Ben is here representing the Blue Jays Baseball Academy, who not only helped foster his love for the game, but also held a special clinic last July to raise funds for his SDR surgery. This surgery has now allowed Ben to move more freely and better enjoy the game of baseball. Please welcome Ben, Roberto Alomar, and the Commissioner of Major League Baseball, Rob Manfred. Ben's wish was to be able to run the bases at Rogers Center, and we know that one day he will. But first, the Commissioner is honored to hand the ball over to Ben to throw out tonight's ceremonial first pitch to Mark Burley. Ben, it's your pitch. Excellent job, Ben. As one more time for Ben, Roberto Alomar, and the Commissioner of Major League Baseball, Robert Manfred.
had the knack for coming up with big home runs, and maybe that one will really get him going. This team is pumped up. They've lost 3 straight home openers, and they want to snap that streak right now. They beat the Yankees in their home opener and beat the Orioles in their home opener. And now they would love to give this great crowd a good start to their season.
And it starts with R.A. Dickey. He's got to come up big. He has had success in the past against the Tampa Bay Rays. It's a first home game for Russell Martin as he gets a chance as a Blue Jay in front of this huge crowd. The same thing with Josh Donaldson. How about all the cheers for the new guys that the Blue Jays have on the roster?
Very interesting. Dalton Pompey, of course, he played here last year. He's from Mississauga. Russell Martin in his first season with the Blue Jays. But how about Miguel Castro and Roberto Osuna? They received huge ovations when they were introduced as they stood on the foul line set for the start of this game.
I think they got the loudest ovation of all the young guys. There's the Pink Brigade right there heading out to the bullpen. Osuna on the right, Castro on the left, and the fans certainly know him.
How about that? 20 years old, going to the bullpen here at Rogers Center for the first time, and the Blue Jays take the field. The Tampa Bay Rays in town. That's Kevin Cash. He's the youngest manager in the majors. He's just 37 years old. He actually caught for the Blue Jays on opening day here at Rogers Center in 2004. Here's a look at his lineup, and they have gotten off to a decent start at 3-3. Asdrubal Cabrera is the shortstop. He's on a 4-game hit streak. He's a switch hitter, and he'll hit in that third spot ahead of Evan Longoria. Longoria has put up good numbers against R.A. Dickey. That's a 267 average with a couple of home runs. So this lineup, a little different look with Jennings down in the 5th spot. A couple of newcomers down at the bottom of the order will face R.A. Dickey.
Second start of the season for R.A. Dickey, and at first when he gave up just 1 run pitched into the 7th inning in that first start against the Yankees, he was in line for the win before the Jays gave up 3 runs late in that game versus New York. He received a no decision in that game. You can see his earned run average at 1.42. 2-2 versus Tampa Bay last year. For his career, he has 6-5 in 17 games versus the Rays, and in those 17 games, the Tampa Bay Rays have only hit 199 against R.A.
R.A. has had some of his best moments against the Tampa Bay Rays. Let's take a look at the defense. The Blue Jays have been terrific. They've committed just 2 errors on the season, and the outbid has been outstanding. Pilar's in left, Pompey in center, and Batista in right. On the infield, they're getting their first taste of this new surface here at Rogers Center. Donaldson and Reyes on the left side. Devin Travis has been a real surprise early on at second base. Justin Smoke, very good defender at first, and Russell Martin behind the plate for R.A. Dickey.
And how about the defense so far? The first week of the season, they've committed just 2 errors. Only the Kansas City Royals have committed fewer than the Blue Jays. And the guy we want to highlight tonight is Kevin Pillar. This is what he did in the series in Baltimore. He took that extra base hit away from Chris Davis and then laid out to finish off the 7th inning in that one. And then this might have been the most beautiful one. They needed an out right here. Watch the glove start to come off of Pillar. He recognizes that, cradles it against his chest to record the out. He has been sensational in left field.
Dickey is set. David DeJesus is in the box, and here's the first pitch of the ball game. It is upstairs for a ball. We are underway. DeJesus off to a great start as the umpire asked to throw that first pitch over to the Blue Jays dugout just to keep it as a souvenir. DeJesus just 1 for 14 going up against R.A. Dickey. Pat, there's been a lot of talk about Russell Martin catching R.A. Dickey. How do you assess what he's done so far?
He's looked fine to me. He's an athlete back there. You talk to anybody who has been a catcher and who watches him day in and day out, he's an athlete, and he can do it just fine. He's made a couple of different changes in his style of catching behind the plate with the knuckleballer. You see the big glove that he has on right there. It's basically an exaggerated first baseman's glove, and he'll get down on one knee to help him track that ball just a little bit better.
That was a nasty knuckleball that Martin handled easily just off the plate outside. It's a 2-2 count to the leadoff man for Tampa Bay. A fly ball into center. Pompey backpedaling now, has plenty of room, and DeJesus is out. Well, R.A. Dickey started game 2 in New York so he could open up this home series. He's pitched very well in this ballpark, and he's pitched extremely well against Tampa Bay over the years.
Some of his best games have been against Tampa Bay in his type of environment, on the turf, under the big dome right here. Those 2 games coming down in Tampa Bay. About that start in New York, it was brutal out. Remember that? The weather was just awful, and Dickey pitched into the 7th inning and deserved better.
This is Steven Souza Jr. Souza came over to the Rays in a 3-team trade that involved San Diego, Washington, and the Rays. Getting his first opportunity to play every day in the big leagues.
He basically took the place of Will Myers. They traded Myers and they got him a hard-hitting outfielder who was not going to get cheated at the plate. He's off to a bad start to his 2015. Says he's been in between, really hasn't been aggressive at the plate. Well, after that first swing, you can see he's going up there just swinging and trying to hit it.
Boy, good job by Russell Martin corralling that knuckleball. Gave the umpire a good look, and Dickey has his first strikeout of the night.
First thing you notice with Russell Martin, watch the hands, how soft his hands are. Tracks it and then holds it there for the home plate umpire. R.A. Dickey's knuckleball is really floating here in the first inning.
2 down. This is Asdrubal Cabrera. He's a switch hitter. We have seen switch hitters bat right-handed against Dickey. We saw it in New York with Teixeira and Chase Headley. Cabrera chooses to hit lefty. Cabrera has a couple of home runs against R.A. Dickey. Overall, he's 4 for 9 against the knuckleballer.
And that's why he's hitting left-handed. Over 400 with a couple of home runs against him. He is an offensive player, playing a very important position for the Tampa Bay Rays at shortstop this year.
Here's the 1-2. Well, Russell Martin's doing a good job early on. He's got a good feel for that knuckler tonight. Dickey's got a good one. Couple of strikeouts for R.A. Dickey. That was nasty. 3 up, 3 down. Jose Reyes is red hot with the bat. He's got a 5-game hit streak, hitting .417 early on. Runs per game. They went 4-2 on their season opening road trip through New York and Baltimore, and John Gibbons is anxious to put on a good show for this packed house tonight at Rogers Center, the home opener. Let's take a look at the lineup. It is Reyes, Pompey, and Bautista top of the order. Jose Reyes, we mentioned his 5-game hit streak. He's 10 for 21, really swinging a hot bat. Got a pair of doubles top of the order, and then Jose Bautista, he loves when he sees the Tampa Bay Rays. 21 home runs, 53 RBIs in his career. And he's coming off that big at-bat yesterday in Baltimore where he homered against Darren O'Day. This is Jake Odorizzi. He throws the first pitch up and away to Reyes.
Tampa Bay Rays have 3 projected starters on the disabled list, so Jake Odorizzi has slid in there and he's given them a huge lift. Shutout ball, his first start of the season.
So pop up into left field. That is Desmond Jennings there, one down. Reyes retired on the fly. Odorizzi is 25 years old. He was a former #1 pick of the Milwaukee Brewers. And he's been involved in a couple of big trades. He went from Milwaukee to Kansas City in a trade that included Zach Greinke. And then he came to Tampa Bay from the Royals in a trade that included James Shields. This is Dalton Pompey. He tries to bunt one, bunts it foul.
That's going to be part of Dalton's play right there. This is a new turf here at the Rogers Center. It's long and slow, and a lot of the Blue Jays were out early today testing that turf. It's slow. I think it's a good turf for people like Dalton Pompey to bunt on. It's going to die.
Fouled off the catcher. It is a new surface. It is AstroTurf, and the filaments are a little bit longer. There's still a combination of granular rubber and sand. It is very soft to walk on. We were on it early this morning and during batting practice. Aesthetically, it looks much better than the old turf, and they've done a nice job of the installation here.
Plays a lot slower than the old turf. A lot slower. That's something that we're going to keep our eyes on tonight.
It has longer filaments, and because of that, the ball just doesn't travel as quickly as it did in the past, and all of the players, both Blue Jays and the Rays, are going to have to get used to it. Broken bat. That is a foul ball just outside of first.
I am going to go out on a limb tonight, Buck,
okay,
and I'm going to say there's going to be 3, maybe even 4 infield hits tonight. The players are just not used to it. You don't have to play as deep if you are an infielder. Any ball, I think, that gets between the third baseman, shortstop, second baseman, I think it's going to die. It's going to get slower. It's going to take longer for the infielders to get to it. You're going to see more infield hits.
It is the Honda home opener, and the Blue Jays, as we mentioned, they've lost their 3 previous home openers. Last year they lost to the Yankees. In 13 they lost to the Indians, and in 12 they lost to the Red Sox. 1-2 to Pompey on the ground. Cabrera near second base, throws on the run in time.
Right fielder number 19, Jose Bautista.
Jose Bautista, his first at bat. Joey Bats here at home, very popular, obviously, 2-time home run champ. With 54 homers in 2010, 43 in 2011. Curveball in there from Odorizzi. Bautista picked up his 2014 Silver Slugger Award just before the start of this game. Silver Slugger recognizes the best offensive player at his position, and of course Bautista, the right fielder, with 3 of those Silver Slugger awards.
There were 9 of them standing out there before the ball game today. George Bell and Carlos Delgado were out there to give Bautista his. They each won 3 themselves.
Carlos Delgado, the all-time home run leader in the Blue Jays franchise history with 336. Vernon Wells is second at 223. Then Bautista at 204. Bell is 5th on that list with 202 home runs. 2 balls and 2 strikes, 2 outs.
He's got the flair for the dramatic also. Huge home run in yesterday's ball game after he got buzzed by Darren O'Day. Sold out on that slider, got it, didn't miss it. Home run.
Ball 4. Bautista walks, and Encarnacion will step to the plate with 2 outs.
Let's take a look at the scouting report for Jake Odorizzi, and he's got good stuff. Fastball, he throws it 60% of the time and throws up 91. He can get it up there. It's got a splitter, the slider, and the curveball. He's dominant when he throws it all for strikes. Last time out, he was great. He had led all rookies with 174 strikeouts in 2014 when he went 11-13 in those 31 starts. He's got a good arm. He just has to be able to throw it for strikes, which he does.
Encarnacion with Batista at first. Blue Jays have struck early in their 6 games so far this season. They've scored 22 runs in the first 3 innings. That's the most in the majors. And when they get a starter on the ropes early, Rick Jacoby tells them, hey, let's bury this guy early on before he gets settled in.
You know what they've done offensively is they've played good team offense, if you will. They've moved runners. I thought a huge at-bat the other day was when Encarnacion moved Bautista from second to third, allowing Josh Donaldson to get a sacrifice fly. That's team offense. Run a guy over, hit and run, get him over, and get him in.
The Rays, one of the most aggressive defenses as far as the shifts go. We have seen Encarnacion hit the ball to right field early on, but you can see 3 defenders on the third base side of second.
This is the defense that Jose Bautista just saw when he was hitting, and once he got the 2 strikes, the second baseman, that's Tim Beckham, really moved over to right field. They've got the scouting report on Bautista and Encarnacion. If it goes to 2 strikes, we'll watch him move over and play a normal second base.
Rene Rivera can really throw. They have dramatically upgraded their play behind the plate with Rivera and Bobby Wilson, the 2 catchers.
And he's not afraid to throw either. I thought they had Bautista. Watch the secondary lead. He's anticipating a swing by Encarnacion, and he just gets in on that high tag by Alan Dykstra.
Tampa Bay's contemplating whether or not they should appeal. You can see Rivera's waiting on Kevin Cash, and Cash just waves off the umpire and said that we're okay. Looked like the tag was up on the forearm.
It was too high. Looked like they had a shot at him. Watch where the tag is. Up on the elbow. Take it right to the bag.
Their regular first baseman, James Loney, is on the DL. 2-1.
Here is the super slow-mo.
I'm glad they didn't review it.
Right in there. You think he gets out? I thought he was safe.
He looked like he tagged him. 3-1. Boy, this is where the Blue Jays have done a great job. You mentioned the team at bats they're having. If it's not there, they'll take ball 4 and turn it over to the next guy.
Yeah, because everybody in this lineup can hurt you. It's their team, and they are starting to mesh together very well.
Right on the corner. You can say it was a borderline strike. Chris Guccione is the home plate umpire, and Encarnacion wasn't going to chase with the hitter count. Now it's full, and there are 2 outs.
Tim Beckham trying to get some words from the bench where they want to play. Now he is staying right up the middle. That's interesting. We have seen Encarnacion burn teams by going to right field.
There goes Batista, and Encarnacion fouls it back.
With 2 strikes, teams will stay away from Edwin, and he'll take what they give you and just bounce a ball, just roll a ball to right field.
I think both Jose Batista and Encarnacion recognizing that they're going to have to get some hits the other way. Ball 4 inside, couple of walks, put 2 outs. Josh Donaldson will step to the plate looking for his first home run of the season. A bat with 2 on and 2 outs. Odorizzi from the stretch checking on Batista. There's a fastball away, and that's what we've seen the pitchers do to Donaldson. They're going to try to work him away.
Yeah, they're going to stay away, and he's been caught in the middle a little bit. The first series in New York. The other day in Baltimore, he said, I'm just going to let it go. Swing away like he did in spring training.
Batista read it well. Now Encarnacion will follow suit as both runners move up. Ball in the dirt. Rene Rivera blocked it. He knew it was close, but he couldn't come up with it. A wild pitch.
Second base, you look right in, and you can see where that ball is. It bounces off the heel of the glove and bounces away from him. And how about Josh Donaldson acting like a third base coach saying, go on to third, go on, you got it.
Sometimes base runners don't know where that baseball is, and the hitter can help them out. Ball and a strike. 2 runners in scoring position for Donaldson. Off the end of the bat, looked like a changeup.
Took a little something off of that one. Josh Donaldson. Josh has that leg kick very similar to Jose Bautista, where he uses it as a timing mechanism. So if you throw him an off-speed pitch and it's a strike, he just waits back for it.
Donaldson picked up his first career home run and his first career RBI right here in May of 2010. It is opening day, and the new commissioner, Rob Manfred, participated in the ceremonial first pitch tonight. And he will join us in the booth a little bit later, so we'll have an opportunity to visit with the new commissioner. He spoke to the Blue Jays players today. And I believe he said he's talked to 18 teams now as he makes his way around Major League Baseball. So he will join us later on. 1-2. He went around as Donaldson tried to check his swing. He went too far. Odorizzi strikes out Donaldson. Blue Jays leave a pair. It's scoreless after 1. Honda home opener. And Longoria, of course, has been the all-star Gold Glover. He is now 29 years old, and you look at his last 3 seasons, and you might start to wonder, is he on the decline right now? The numbers suggest that maybe there's a trend there.
No. Don't be fooled by those numbers. This is one of the best players in the American League. 2012, he only played in 74 games because of injury. Last 2 years, played 160, 162 games. He has produced while he is in there. Yes, the on base plus the slugging has gone down. That might have a little bit more to do with fewer hitters in the lineup surrounding Evan Longoria.
Longoria goes after that first pitch and fouls it at the third baseline.
And if you have fewer hitters in the lineup around him, he is not going to get pitched to. So you can't swing the bat.
This is his 8th season with the Rays. He's quickly behind 0-2. We mentioned his numbers against R.A. Dickey for his career. He's hit .267, but he's got a couple of home runs. Where was that?
I don't know where that was.
Yeah, it looked like the umpire may have gotten blocked out. He appeared to be right behind Russell Martin and didn't have a good look at that last pitch. That'll take care of that. 3 strikeouts in a row for R.A. Dickey.
Make a grand entrance during the DIY Expert Sale. Only at Home Building Center and Home Hardware Building Center. Homeowners helping homeowners with expert advice.
This is Desmond Jennings, the left fielder. Jennings is a center fielder. In fact, the Rays have 3 outfielders in tonight's lineup that are all basically center fielders. They've got some athletic skills.
You sure this isn't Willie Mays, the way he hits against the Blue Jays?
He loves the Blue Jays and loves hitting in this ballpark. When you look at Jennings for his career against the Blue Jays, he has a .307 average, but he's got 10 home runs.
And be careful right here. 3-0. The way he swings against Toronto, he might have the green light.
Dickey walks him on 4 pitches. That's the first base runner for Tampa Bay. The Rays have run a little bit so far this season. It's early on, but they already have 4 stolen bases in 5 attempts. They don't figure to have a prolific offensive team, so you can bet they're going to try to force the offense, maybe run a little bit.
Yeah, not a ton of power up and down the lineup. They're going to have to manufacture runs, and they're going to have to create runs.
Dickey's aware that Jennings might be running. R.A.'s very good holding the runners at bay. He's quick. He holds the ball. He varies his release times.
And he is very fast to home.
There's a fly ball to right. Batista's got a bead on it. Jennings halfway, and Dykstra's up. This is the Honda home opener, and there are a lot of happy people, and we want to thank those fans for that beautiful sign. Nothing like the home opener, is there, Pat? Everybody's optimistic about the upcoming season.
I went to 3 different stores looking for that color of paint for those signs.
I noticed it on your dress shirt, just a little spot.
Just kidding. Thank you, you guys, for doing that.
And you see all of the Blue Jays gear on display here tonight. This is Rene Rivera, the catcher. He's batting in the 7th spot. Rivera is 31 years old. He's got just over 3 years of major league service. He was acquired in that 3-team trade. We mentioned the Nats, the Padres, and the Rays teamed up and made a 3-team trade in December. Rivera has time with Seattle, Minnesota, and San Diego before coming here with the Rays. There were 9 players in that trade between those 3 teams, and those kinds of trades take an awful lot of legwork. Steven Souza came to Tampa Bay from Washington. Rivera gets hit. So after a strikeout to start the inning, Desmond Jennings walks. A fly ball to right, and now number 7 hitter Rivera is hit by a pitch.
Knuckleball gets away from R.A. Hits Rivera right in the back. Seemed like he was really paying attention to Desmond Jennings over there at first base.
A little bit of a distraction for sure. So now this is the center fielder Kevin Kiermaier. He's off to a great start. He's got 7 extra base hits, and he can fly. Martin dropped that ball, but not far enough away that the runners could advance.
You know, we were talking about the infield, how slow it is, and Kiermaier can really run. Look at the left side of the infield, how they really shortened up against Kiermaier. Anything on the ground, he is so fast. He can beat it out, so I think you have to shorten up like Reyes has, and Donaldson, and Devin Travis.
This is going to be a learning experience, even for the home team, the Blue Jays, playing on this new surface. It's just slower than they're used to. 0-2. For those of you that have been longtime baseball fans watching Russell Martin, don't be alarmed by the fact that he's putting the knee down even with base runners on. This is popped up. Martin over near the Blue Jays dugout. Most of the time, traditional catching position suggests when there's runners on, you never go to a knee, but Russell Martin has done a good job of refining his stance behind the plate when he's catching Dickey so he can have a better chance at catching it.
And he's still pretty quick. Even if the runners do take off, he's still pretty quick getting up off that leg and throwing a strike to the bases if those runners try to steal.
Dickey with a 1-2 count. There goes Jennings, and Martin wisely decides not to make a throw. He had a good jump.
That one was not stolen on Russell Martin. That one was stolen on R.A. Dickey. R.A. gave him one look, and Desmond Jennings got a running start at second base. Went on his own. And it was easy. Watch him get the running start at second base. He times it. R.A. doesn't look at him. They had no chance for Russell, who had thoughts of maybe throwing to third.
And Russell can see that base runner behind the mound, so he knew that it wasn't going to be a high percentage throw. 2-2, 2 outs. Upstairs now it's a full count. Dickey struck out Longoria to start the inning. Then he walked Jennings, and Dykstra flied out, and then Rivera was hit by a pitch. That's Tim Beckham, number 9 hitter. There goes Rivera. Ball is hit high and deep into the air in right center. Batista back, giving way to the center fielder Pompey, and he makes the catch right in front of the out-of-town scoreboard. The Rays leave a pair. We head to the bottom of the second. Justin Smoke will lead things off when we come back.
Home opener on Sportsnet. Presented by the 2015 Honda CR-V, Motor Trend's 2015 Sport Utility of the Year.
Great crowd here. This is the Honda home opener to open up the 2015 home schedule for the Blue Jays. A lot of fans are pumped up. That is out there in center field in the WestJet flight deck. So make sure when you come to the ballpark, you check that out. It's a great vantage point right behind second base, just behind Dalton Pompey when he's out in center. Good place to watch the ball game. This is Justin Smoke. Smoke getting his first at bat, goes after the high pitch and drills a high fly ball. Kiermaier has a bead on it. One down.
The catcher, number 55, Russell Martin.
Russell Martin was born in East New York here in Ontario. He moved to Montreal at a young age, grew up in Montreal, and he is back with the Blue Jays, and it's really special to be able to play for the only professional baseball team in Canada, the only major league team, of course. Martin off to a little bit of a slow start with the bat, just 1 for 16 in Illinois going, but he's picked up 3 RBIs.
3 RBIs. I think his game's got to be to right field. He got that 2-run single to right field against Tanaka, and I think that's Russell's game. Shoot the ball the other way. They come inside. You can go ahead and turn on the ball. They've got 3 infielders on the left side of the infield, which really surprises me.
Yeah, it sure does. I agree with you 100%. That's a backup slider that is dropped. There you see the second baseman. That's Tim Beckham, almost directly behind the bag at second. 3 defenders on the third base side of second. There's Beckham standing right where he wanted to be. Russell Martin is out. That's 4-3 on the ground out, 2 down. Now we talk about the shifts, and that's been a topic of conversation, and the new commissioner, Rob Manfred, will be with us in the top half of the inning, and he's the one that suggested he wanted to look at the shifts, see how much they impacted the offense, and the fact that the offense has been down the last couple of years. I think the offense is down because there's so many hard-throwing pitchers.
That's it right there. I think the shifts have something to do with it. 10 years ago, that's a base hit by Russell Martin. But the shifts have something to do with it. But it's all in the spirit of the game. That's fine. Be able to do that. Guys throwing 96, 97, that isn't fine. That's scary.
Ball and a strike to the left fielder, Kevin Pillar. Bouncing ball. Beckham again right behind the bag. He's a former shortstop with a strong arm, and another good inning for Odorizzi. 3 up, 3 down. We'll move to the third. Rob Manfred, the 10th commissioner of baseball, will join us when we come back. Blue Jays Honda home opener, and we move to the third inning. We're pleased to be joined now by the new commissioner of baseball, Mr. Rob Manfred. And Rob, congratulations, first of all, on being appointed as the commissioner of baseball.
Thank you. Thank you. It's been a very exciting time for me and exciting time for my family.
You had a chance to throw out the first pitch tonight, and I guess, you know, children are very humbling. They'll bring you back down to earth. Tell us about your experience with 9-year-old Ben Shepherd.
So I asked the Blue Jays to arrange to have a young person with me. I think it's a great symbol of how important young people are to us. And so they took me downstairs to meet him, and young Ben was talking to Robbie Alomar and Carlos Delgado and George Bell. And so they took me over and said, this is the commissioner of baseball, Rob Manfred. And young Ben looked right up at me and he said, I don't care about you. That's pretty good. Huh?
I got all these great baseball players around me, and you know what? The suit's nice, but let me talk to Robbie.
Yeah, that's right. Hey, look, if you have someone who's more important, 3 former major league players, I'm good with that. That's very good.
That's a great segue about youth in baseball. You have gone on record to talk about you want to get baseball down into the youth and get it started again, cultivated. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, it's about our business, to tell you the truth. The biggest predictors of fan avidity as an adult is, did you play as a kid? And how old were you when someone took you to the ballpark the first time? And so we think it's really important to help groups like Little League and Pony League be competitive in the youth space. It's a very competitive market. Lots of options out there available for kids. And on the fan side, we want families taking their kids to the ballpark at an early age so that the game gets passed down from generation to generation.
Another aspect of growing the game is trying to identify new markets, and the Blue Jays have been in Montreal for the last 2 springs, and of course all the people in Montreal are anxious for baseball to return. What would you have to see in Montreal for them to become another viable destination for baseball?
Well, first of all, I'd be remiss if I didn't say that the showing for the 2 exhibition games last year and this year is really an impressive thing, an indication of how important Major League Baseball is to the city of Montreal. Beyond that, I think there needs to be a plan for a Major League quality facility. I don't think a facility should or needs to be built in advance, but I think it's important to have a plan.
When you think about the game itself, it appears as though the game is in great shape right now. We're having competitive balance, a lot of different teams in the postseason. How pleased are you with the way things have worked out? And there doesn't seem to be a real dominant team right now that's taken over the postseason.
Well, when people ask me about the health of the game, I always start with competitive balance. At the end of the day, what we sell is competition, and it's really important for smaller markets to feel like they can compete. Kansas City was a great story for us last year. It was captivating in the postseason. They played great. And I feel like we're off to another season where we could see some markets that have not been in the postseason recently get in there.
Certainly the Toronto Blue Jay fans hope that's the case. They haven't been there for quite a while now. Also, there's a lot of topics, and of course you were involved for a long time with the labor relations and the topic of drug testing and steroids. Unfortunately, we've had more players suspended early on in this season. How are you going to address the way things have unfolded with that issue? Well, maybe we'll hold that. Can you wait another half inning?
Sure.
Well, they called him safe over at first base. But let's get back to the issue. 4 players have been suspended. You have implemented a pretty good drug program. It seems to be working. How do you address what's happened early on in this season?
Well, I think what you need to do is keep perspective that this is a long-term battle. You need to remain vigilant. There are, great incentives for the use of performance-enhancing drugs. And what you need to do over the long haul is make your testing the best it can possibly be, and I believe we've done that. And you need to convince players that you have an investigative capacity where you'll catch people like we did in biogenesis. But the key is to have a long view. You are going to have positives with a good drug program. It's just sort of a fact of sporting life.
Are you concerned with the players there? I mean, what's happened?
What concerns me about the 4 is whenever you see 4 in a group like this close together in time and it's the same substance, we take that very seriously, and we, in fact, investigate to determine whether there's some pattern that's going on here that needs to be addressed. And that's really how we got going on the biogenesis thing. I think people think that began with a newspaper report. In fact, we had an investigation ongoing before the newspapers broke that story.
The Blue Jays are in a scoreless tie here as we're in the top of the 3rd inning, and there are 2 outs. Rob Manfred, the commissioner of baseball, took the position in January. You've got Alex Rodriguez back in the game. He missed a suspension because of the drug report. And Alex told me in New York that you have advised him, and he is very appreciative of the direction that you have given him about how he gets back into the good graces of the fans and baseball in general.
Well, look, I think it's important when you have a program where you have severe penalties. You know, Alex's penalty an entire season. The flip side of that is once you've served your penalty, you should be able to resume your career, and I think we have an obligation to help the player try to do that if he can still play. And you know, obviously Alex has gone out, at least at the beginning of the year, played quite well.
He played well against the Blue Jays. One final question. Might Toronto be on the list to have an all-star game once again? It's been a long time since they had that last one in '91.
Well, you know, Paul Beeston took me in his office today. He closed the door. And in fact, we had a little conversation about that topic, so it's on my mind. That's all I can tell you.
Well, that's great. Mr. Commissioner, we want to thank you for your time, and thank you so much for coming here to Toronto and helping us open up this home schedule.
It was really my pleasure to be here. It's great to see both of you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
All right.
That is the Commissioner of Baseball, Rob Manfred, as he is taken his position in January and certainly was here to visit with the players. And as he told us, he met with the president of the ball club, Paul Beeston, and they had a discussion about the possibility of the All-Star game.
That is encouraging. It has to come back here. It's been a long time since the fans in Toronto and all throughout Canada had a chance to see the All-Star game, and it's much different than it was the last time it was here.
Yeah, it's a big financial boon to towns that get those All-Star games. You've got the Futures game, you've got the home run contest. It's a week-long affair. Two on, two outs. Dickey with that inside throw, and he's called for a balk. Second base umpire Jeff Nelson called a balk on Dickey, and Dickey did the inside move, and this is a difficult one to explain. John Gibbons has come out of the dugout, and managers have to be careful on how they do this. And now Jeff Nelson has called the umpires over for a conference. The umpires are going to discuss this. Blas Diaz is the third base umpire. He had a good perspective. And now they're good. Looks like they might be going to wave it off.
Dickey was emphatic as soon as the balk was called, and I think what happened, he tried to step off and make that throw. It wasn't a real inside move. An inside move is when you pick up that front foot and then spin and then throw towards the bag. It looked like he was in between trying to step off and then throw. Let's watch it one more time. Watch the right leg. Tries to pick it up and throw it back to second base, and he was called for a balk.
Yeah, that is a good pickup, because the inside move, you maintain contact with that right foot in the rubber, and then you lift up your leg, left leg, and spin inside back toward shortstop. But he indeed tried to step off. It looked like his spikes got kind of hung up.
There wasn't a he didn't fully disengage from the rubber, and I think that's what the second base umpire Jeff Nelson, the crew chief, saw.
Two runners in scoring position now for Evan Longoria, and he hits it high into the air in deep right center. Batista ranging over in front of the warning track, gets there. No damage as the Rays strand the pair, still scoreless as we head to the third.
TBA.com. That is the official app of Major League Baseball. Listen to live audio, follow games pitch by pitch, and enjoy in-game video highlights. The app is available on the iPhone, iPad, iPod Touch, Android, and BlackBerry. Season-long subscription packages are available. Visit BlueJays.com for more details. And if you're watching it on the app, gentlemen, you'd have a chance to see whether or not R.A. Dickey did indeed balk.
That's right, Barry. I'll give you another chance to look at that inside move, and it appears as though he tried to step off, and that's why he was called for a balk. This is the young second baseman, Devin Travis. 250 on the season. A home run came at Yankee Stadium. It was his first major league hit.
Not much to show for in yesterday's ball game, but he could have easily, Buck, had 4 hits. He hit the ball hard 4 times.
Big hop for the shortstop, Cabrera. Travis is out.
And the Blue Jays have said that they're going to stick with him, that they think that he's going to battle some of these tough right-handers that they have faced so far this season.
See, Asdrubal Cabrera got something in his eye. I mean, mentioned this is a brand new turf, and they have put those rubber granulars on the grass, and when the ball bounces, it'll kick up some of those black rubber particles. You can see the first bounce kicked up a lot of them, and Cabrera got something in his eye, and now the trainer's going to come out and have a look at it.
Flush that thing out. I bet you that's exactly what happened.
As they attend to Cabrera after this batter, Dalton Pompey will come up, and Hazel May is standing by. She's got a little more on Dalton Pompey.
Buck, thanks very much. As a young Blue Jays fan, Dalton Pompey said he would come to the Rogers Center early in order to take batting practice. And on one particular afternoon, he told me that he pleaded for Orlando Hudson to come over and sign his baseball. Now, Hudson agreed, but after he takes a few more cuts in the cage. Well, after BP, Hudson ran immediately into the clubhouse, and Pompey said he was absolutely devastated. A few minutes later, the O-Dog reappeared and tossed Pompey a pair of his batting gloves. And Pompey says he will never forget how happy that made him feel, and that he will always remember that story when dealing with young Blue Jays fans today. Buck.
Hazel, that's a great story, and oftentimes these ball players will forget they were youngsters one time and they were sitting at the rail begging for an autograph. So hopefully Dalton will be accommodating whenever he has the opportunity to give a nice autograph to a young fan.
Or share some of your equipment. We used to do that, right? After you became established in the big leagues, you'd send over a care package down to the minor league camp, right? Yep. Spikes and batting gloves.
Give a fan a bat every once in a while. Of course, I didn't have to use them a lot, so I had a lot of extra ones.
There was no dents in them, or it wasn't chipping, huh?
Blue Jays looking for their first hit. Jose Reyes has a 5-game hit streak. He flied out to left field his first time up. This is popped up on the infield. The second baseman, Tim Beckham, makes the catch. 2 down. That's 6 in a row retired by Odorizzi, and the Blue Jays have been down this road.
He's tough. He has faced him, like we said, in the past. 19 innings, 16 strikeouts against the Blue Jays in his young career.
1-0 with a 237 earned run average over those first 3 starts. Here is the aforementioned Dalton Pompey. Pompey now 3 for 23. He had a couple of doubles in a game in Baltimore. Hit his first home run of the season yesterday afternoon in the first inning. A 2-run home run that the umpires had to review. Boy, all of these Rays pitchers, I don't care what number of starter you want to call them, they can change speeds and throw strikes. Jim Hickey, the fine pitching coach of the Rays, always emphasizes that fastball location.
Yeah, before you come up to the major leagues, if you're part of the Tampa Bay Ray organization, you better have fastball command. And you better be able to change speeds. Jim Hickey demands that. Changeup is very important.
Backhanded by the first baseman Dykstra. He goes to the bag. The inning is over. Another good inning for Jake Odorizzi. 3 up, 3 down.
Of April, and it is free. Get access of up to 15 Blue Jays games, plus the race to the NHL and NBA postseason. Check your TV channel listings or call your local service provider for details. Buck?
Thank you, Barry. Great opportunity to check it all out, and it's all free this month, so make sure you check in with Sportsnet. They move to the 4th. They're looking for our first run of the game. R.A. Dickey and Jake Odorizzi locked up in a pitcher's duel early on. There's only been one hit in the ball game, and that was an infield hit by Steven Souza. This is Desmond Jennings, and Kevin Cash has dropped Jennings down in the batting order, and he responds with a base hit. Leadoff single. Let's check in quickly with Jamie Campbell. Thank you, Jamie. That is a long-time relationship and a good one between Honda and the Blue Jays. Desmond Jennings at second base. He started things off with a single. Alan Dykstra got a single through the left side of the infield. First and second, nobody out. Rene Rivera, the catcher, got hit by a pitch his first time up. Blue Jays guarding against the bunt. Donaldson creeping in from third. No signs of bunt here as Rivera takes strike one.
Now, it's hard to bunt a knuckleball. I get that. But if R.A. Dickey makes a good pitch here, ground ball, and the Blue Jays are going to get a double play. I'm a little bit surprised here that Kevin Cash is not thinking about bunting those runners over. You've got some speed out there at second base and Desmond Jennings.
Oh, and shoot. I'm with you. This would have been a textbook Joe Madden bunting opportunity. Of course, Madden's now in Chicago with the Cubs. Kevin Cash trying to get the offense going, and you can say, okay, I want my hitters to get off to a good start. This is just game number 7. 0-2. Step off. Jennings, boy, he was about ready to go to third. He has stolen third base already tonight.
That's where you need that communication right there. He was trying to time up R.A. Remember last time he just gave him one look and he took off. There he goes again. Communication. Just tell your pitcher to step off and look.
Dickey that time spun inside. He was called for a balk in the 3rd inning when Souza was at second. He was in between the spin move and stepping off. Dickey has struck out 3. He's walked 2. Top of the 4th. First of 4 games against Tampa Bay. A fly ball into shallow center field. Pompey is there and makes the catch. So Dickey, after back-to-back singles, gets a fly ball out. Blue Jays now would love to get a ground ball, and Dickey can help himself out. He's a terrific fielder. Won the Gold Glove in 2013.
Still tough to double this guy up coming up. Kevin Kiermaier can really run. And Russell Martin's going to go out and talk to R.A. Dickey saying, hey, let's keep an eye on Desmond Jennings at second base. We're going to go with this sign. Just vary your looks towards second base just to give him a look. Slow him down just a little bit.
Both starters are settled in here early. Dickey trying to avoid damage after back-to-back singles to start the inning. Kiermaier. Kiermaier hit one deep to center field to end the 2nd. Pompey making the grab. Ooh, had a good rip. He's much more than a punch and Judy, that's for sure. He's a guy that can run, so naturally you think, okay, he's going to have infield hits. He's got 7 extra base hits. He's got 4 doubles, a triple, and 2 home runs early on. He leads the American League in slugging.
And you think him hitting down at the bottom of the lineup, you could throw a fastball by him. He is very quick. He's got a short swing and he can drive the ball out of the ballpark. A lot of those doubles are hustle doubles that he has had so far this season.
Kiermaier developed so quickly they were able to move Will Myers, their fine young outfielder. Jennings thought about it and took about 3 steps. Got halfway to shortstop and then stopped.
He is just trying to time up R.A. Dickey. Now R.A. is very quick towards home. He has to give him a look, then look back to the plate, then look back again. Step off, just vary your times towards home.
Tampa Bay's on Dickey for not stopping. Chris Guccione, the home plate umpire, took his mask off and told him to settle down over in that dugout, but they wanted Dickey to come to a full stop.
See what Desmond Jennings is trying to do. At times, R.A. comes up to the stretch, looking at the runner, turns towards home, and then goes. Other times, he comes to the stretch, looking at home or looking down, and then looks back like that. And that's where Jennings is trying to time him up.
Big strikeout for Dickey.
The 2015 Honda CR-V is the official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays and Motor Trend's 2015 Sport Utility of the Year.
Beautiful crowd on Honda opening night. First game of a 4-game series against Tampa Bay. First game of a 10-game homestand for the Blue Jays to open up their season here at home. This is Tim Beckham. He's playing second base. He was a shortstop when he was drafted. First overall pick by the Rays. Took him a while to develop, but here he is in the big leagues.
Yeah, lost some time last year with some injuries. A knee injury that slowed down his development. He's a fine athlete.
He was the first pick overall in the draft in 2008. And the Rays have a terrific record of hitting on #1 picks. Jennings is going to steal third uncontested as Donaldson never even gave up his defensive position.
One more time he comes up. That time doesn't even look at Jennings, and he walks to third base with another stolen base.
3-0. Ball 4. That'll load the bases and turn the lineup over. So after the strikeout, Dickey issues the third walk of the game. Back to the top of the order, David DeJesus has flied out and popped out. Tampa Bay with 3 hits. They've collected 2 of those hits leading off this inning, and now the walk has loaded the bases. Dickey comes back with a strike.
This is what Tampa has to do. They've got to have good at bats. They're not going to hit a lot of extra base hits, not a lot of home runs. They need to mix in their walks and then come up with big hits. They took 2 out of 3 from Miami, where they just came from.
And they lost 2 out of 3 at home to the Orioles in their season opening series at Tropicana Field. Well, they come into this game with a 3-3 record. They have hit 6 home runs. It's kind of surprising. That's the same number of home runs the Blue Jays have hit. DeJesus with 2 career grand slams.
Right now, Ari, just not finishing it. Everything has been up in the strike zone.
Just out of the zone upstairs, and John Gibbons not pleased with the strike zone of Chris Guccione, the home plate umpire. Three and 1, 2 outs. There's a strike.
Taken all the way. 3-1. Now 3-2. The runners will be off on the bases.
Desmond Jennings at third. He let it off with a single. Alan Dykstra at second. He 2 single. Beckham walk. They will be off on the pitch. No score in the ball game. Tampa Bay has stranded 4 base runners already. Ball 4. Dickey walks in a run. First run of the ball game comes in on the walk. Jennings let it off with a single. He scores for DeJesus. That's his 7th RBI already. 2 walks in the inning, 4 in the ball game. This is Steven Souza, who got the first hit of the game. Infield hit in the 3rd. That's pulled foul. This is the real challenge for Dickey, of course. The knuckleball itself is a very fragile pitch. You never really know when it's going to come and go. And for Russell Martin, if you're catching a conventional pitcher, you know that you can switch back and forth from pitch to pitch and get him into the strike zone.
Yeah, what do you say to a guy who throws a knuckleball? I guess the one thing that he can say is let's try and change speeds. R.A. has had games like this in the past against Tampa Bay, where he has had a high walk game.
That's a pretty good pitch. The umpire Guccione did not ask for the check swing appeal.
You know, he has also had games against Tampa Bay where they have come out swinging. If you remember that game last season where Tampa, they weren't waiting around at all for RA to throw strikes. They were just swinging. Tonight, a little bit more patient.
Different lineup for sure. Souza at the plate, Dykstra at 3rd, Beckham at 2nd, and DeJesus at first. Bases loaded. Full count. 2 outs. Walks in another runner. 3 walks in the inning, and Tampa Bay has a 2-0 lead.
Yeah, and Peter, Jimmy's got to go out there and talk to him. In that game last season that I was talking about, R.A. had a high walk game. And P. Walker's going to come out and talk to me. He had 6 walks against Tampa Bay, if you remember that, on opening night.
And the problem is he's not missing by that much. He's just not getting that ball over the strike zone. Kevin Cash and his Rays hitters have been very patient. That's 5 walks this should end. That's Liam Hendricks starting to loosen up for the Blue Jays. Asdrubal Cabrera, the switch hitting shortstop. Goes after the first pitch, and that should end the inning. Pompey backpedaling. The inning is over, but the Rays scored 2 on bases loaded walks. Jose Bautista will lead things off. Yesterday in Baltimore, he went deep, his first of the season. He has 21 homers against the Rays.
April 19th, the Blue Jays face the Braves, and it is a very special day because it is Jose Bautista bobblehead day. The first 20,000 fans will receive a Bautista bobblehead. Go to BlueJays.com for tickets. And Buck, after Sunday's game, Kevin Pillar told me that the home run that Jose Bautista hit could end up being one of those ones we look back as a turning point. He's got off to a really slow start, and after being thrown behind, he came up with that big home run, and it seemed to have lit him on fire.
But it sure did, Barry. It was an 8-7 game at that point with 2 outs in the top of the 8th. He had a 2-run home run to give the Blue Jays a little cushion. I don't know that I remember a ball player that responded as well as Bautista when he thinks somebody's thrown at him. We saw him do that a few years ago against Ivan Nova, the Yankees. And that ball the O'Day threw sailed over his back. Lined right to Longoria. He was hugging the line and takes a hit away from Bautista.
And he's had a little bit of a history with Darren O'Day. That time, his history with Evan Longoria, he's had plenty of that also. Line drive, you can see they got the 3 infielders again on the left side of the infield for this reason alone right here. Jose is robbed of extra bases.
You know, we talk about timing at the plate, but Longoria on that replay, you saw the timing as he got his feet set, and when that ball was hit, he was on the ground ready to take that first step to his right. There's timing involved in defense as well.
Certainly, and he's one of the best at third base. When that ball is crossing the hitting zone, you have to be in a good athletic position.
Longoria won Gold Gloves in 2009 and 2010. And then Beltre won back-to-back Gold Gloves. Manny Machado won in 13, and Kyle Seager won last year for the Mariners. Off the end of the bat, the shift is in place once again. Tim Beckham has been busy taking balls on the shortstop side of the bag. He's used to that. He was a shortstop when he signed.
It's an easy play for him. He doesn't have to go to his left. It's right at him. That's what the shifts are all about right there. They look at all the numbers, and they look at the history and where they think the player is going to hit it. He was positioned perfectly.
Blue Jays looking for their first hit. Josh Donaldson called out on strikes in the first inning. Boy, they're working him away, aren't they? We've seen that throughout the first week of the season. Nobody wants to challenge him on the inner half.
They'll show him balls on the inner half, or they'll show him ball up. But for the most part, they're going to pitch him away, and they're going to play him to pull.
What is an approach Donaldson can take to counteract that?
I think the approach that he had, Buck, yesterday in the game in Baltimore, where he shot the ball to right center field. What's interesting about the defensive lineman, they've got 3 on the left side of the infield, but the right field plays him the other way.
It's off the end of the bat. That's going to stay in the ballpark. Souza is there. The inning is over. Another 3 up, 3 down inning for Odorizzi. Tampa Bay has a 2-0 lead. Now it's time for Blue Jays Central Update. Here's Jamie Campbell and Greg Zarr.
ready with the shopping channel. Get game ready. Find everything you need for the Stanley Cup playoffs and the Toronto Blue Jays. Go to shoptsc.ca. Buck?
Obviously, the playoffs are coming up this week. They'll start, and we had the Sportsnet hockey crew out here before the pregame show. Kiprius helping out with the opening ceremonies and giving us his take on the upcoming playoffs. R.A. Dickey walked in a pair of runs in the fourth, trying to get a feel for that knuckleball. It's been floating all over the place. 5 walks for Dickey.
You know, one thing he was doing in spring training is he was changing speeds with that knuckleball.
Longoria goes after the first pitch, hits it on the ground, and grounds out to the shortstop.
Haven't seen him change speeds that much tonight. Everything has been about the same speed. Hard.
Well, you know that even a conventional pitcher will have some nights where he just can't feel his pitches, and with a knuckleballer it's going to be compounded, obviously, because it is such a touch and feel pitch. Desmond Jennings has been on base twice. But you're right, Dickey has missed upstairs more than anything tonight.
Fastball right on the inner half.
That's ripped but foul down the left side.
They have to figure out some way to get this guy out right here. This guy's been unbelievable.
He absolutely loves hitting in this ballpark. I talked to him just before batting practice and said, boy, I know one guy that's happy to be back here. That's you. He strikes out this time.
Quick work for R.A.
The 2015 Honda CR-V is the official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays and Motor Trend's 2015 Sport Utility of the Year.
Two up, two down here in the fifth. This is Alan Dykstra, who singled and scored in the fourth inning. R.A. Dickey just trying to put up a 0 here and give his offense a chance to get right back in it. Of course, the Blue Jays have plenty of offense. Came into this game averaging 6.3 runs a game. Third in the American League behind the Tigers and the Royals. The Tigers saw their win streak snapped at the hands of the Pirates today. They lost 5-4 in Pittsburgh. While Kansas City just keeps rolling. They beat the Red Sox they beat Minnesota 12-3. They pounded out 13 more hits today.
13 more hits. Those young players are starting to come of age in Kansas City.
Well, they sure are, and I think the Blue Jays are thinking about that possibility with so many young players coming through their system on this team right now. 2-2 pitch. Did he go around? No, says Laz Diaz down at third base.
Well, the Rays are doing a good job of laying off those borderline knuckleball pitches. You can see from pitch tracks, they're just off the plate. Just off the plate, they're not offering at it.
The ball line to right. Batista is there. 3 up, 3 down inning for R.A. Dickey. Now it's over to the hitter. See if they can't figure out Jake Odorizzi, Smoke, Martin, and Pilar when we come back.
fans in the big comfy chairs in the TV Comfort Zone. Fans enjoying the seat upgrade courtesy of TD. Also, to let you know, the new Sportsnet app is now available. You can watch the Blue Jays anytime, anywhere. Visit Sportsnet in the App Store to download. Buck?
Thank you, Barry. Big crowd on hand tonight, and they're happy to be part of the Honda Blue Jays home opener. There'll be upwards of 45,000 for sure. It's a sellout. Right now, they want to see the Blue Jays get a hit. Odorizzi has shut them down. This is Justin Smoke. He flied out center field, his only time up. Odorizzi has set down 10 straight.
He's looking like Ubaldo Jimenez did the other night in Baltimore. He's throwing the ball where he wants to. He's got 3 pitches right now working for him. His fastball, he's cutting it, and his off-speed pitch, he's throwing it for strikes when he needs to. And that's a tough combination for hitters. You don't run into any patterns or anything like that that you can sit on and say, okay, in this situation, I know I'm going to get this, a fastball. He hasn't done that yet.
That might have hit Odorizzi. It's going to go right to the shortstop, Cabrera. 1 out. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. Odorizzi getting a visit from the shortstop as Struble Cabrera. Watch the ball come back toward the mound.
1 hop off that right leg, and it ricochets directly to the shortstop. Kick save.
And a beauty. 1 out. Russell Martin goes after the first pitch. Brett Lawrie, as Jamie mentioned, hit his first home run for Oakland against Scott Feldman. Scott Kazmir, the left-hander on the mound, has no-hit the Astros through 2 innings. This is on the ground. Cabrera will come after it. Goes on the run. 12 straight retired by Odorizzi. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership. It is the Honda home opener, and it's a packed house here at Rogers Center. This is Kevin Pillar grounded out to the second baseman to end the second. Little looper, this is trouble, and it's going to drop and goes past Souza. Pillar is headed for second. He will stop there, and the Blue Jays have their first hit of the ball game.
And you'll take these. It looked like a little cutter on the outside part of the plate. Pillar covers that plate and hits it in front of Souza, and this could have been dangerous for the Tampa Bay Rays, but with that slow turf, it's only going to end up a double. He makes a dive, goes for it, falls in for a base hit, and when it gets by him, Pillar can get to second base.
That's the 13th double of the season for the Blue Jays. Number 9 hitter is Devin Travis.
That harder surface from last year, that's a triple. Easily, maybe even inside the Parker.
Base hit to right field. Pillar is around third. Here comes the throw, and it is not in time. Devin Travis has put the Blue Jays on the board.
Hey, that's his game right there. Shoot the ball the other way. It's easier to do that with a high pitch as opposed to a low pitch. Low pitch, you got to like reach for it. You got to go down and get it. When it's up, like that pitch was to Devin, it's a lot easier. All you have to do is let it travel just a little bit more. Watch where this pitch is, and just shoot the ball the other way. It's up, inside out swinging on a line to right field. It's an RBI single. Souza's mistake in right field just cost him a run.
Sure did. If he plays it conservatively, plays it on the hop, Pilar doesn't get to second and can't score on the base hit by Travis. 2-1 ball game. Back to the top of the order. Watch out for this first pitch. Upstairs. Reyes is 0 for 2. Blue Jays have just the 2 hits.
He's been known to jump on that first pitch, right? When that pitcher, you feel like he's got a little pressure on him a little bit, thinks he's going to get ahead quickly with a fastball.
Reyes trying to extend a 5-game hit streak. Fouled off the catcher's glove. The Blue Jays collectively came into this game batting 2 for 24 against the starter Jake Odorizzi. They just haven't been able to get many hits off Odorizzi. They have 2 hits, both coming with 2 outs in the 5th.
Made his Rays debut right here a couple of seasons ago.
R.A. Dickey hasn't gotten that call all night long.
Certainly didn't get it last inning when we pointed out the pitches that were just off the plate. Big difference between 1 and 2 and 2 and 1.
Not a bad time for Devin Travis to take a shot at stealing second. Reyes is behind 1 and 2. He's the leadoff man, of course. If he makes it, he's in scoring position.
See if he takes a little bit bigger lead over there at first base.
Not running. Reyes with a protective swing stays alive. If Travis does break for second and gets there, of course he's in scoring position. If he gets thrown out, Reyes leads off the 6th.
With a clean count. Or if he takes off and the shortstop covers, maybe he can shoot one through that hole.
Shortstop's going to have to cover given the fact where Beckham's playing Reyes. Reyes strikes out. That ends the inning, but the Blue Jays get on the board. Back-to-back 2-out hits, a double and a single. It's a 2-1 game, and we're headed to the 6th. Here comes the Home Hardware Cleanup Crew, brought to you by Natura. Home Hardware's exclusive line of safe, environmentally friendly cleaning products. With more on the Rays, let's check in with Hazel May.
Beck, as you mentioned, for the first time in 9 seasons, the Rays come into Rogers Center without Joe Madden at the helm, but his assistants are still here. I talked to hitting coach Derek Shelton, who said the transition has been seamless. He said Kevin Cash is a, quote, great daily communicator. There's no doubt who's in charge, that Cash allows his assistants to do their job. I asked pitching coach Jim Hickey whether he's having just as much fun with Cash at the helm, and Hickey said, Buck, that they absolutely are having just as much fun, minus the live snakes, the penguins, and the mariachi bands. Back to you.
Of course, Joe Madden was the champion of all those distractions, and he did a great job of bringing this team together, and they made their way to the World Series in 2008. Rene Rivera hits a 2-hopper to short. Kevin Cash is 37 years old. He's the youngest manager in the major leagues, and this is his first managerial opportunity. He worked with Terry Francona in Cleveland, and the Indians thought so much of Kevin Cash when they heard he was going to be interviewed for a managing job. They set up an interview. They had their general manager set up an interview, and they had a regular interview process as if he were going to interview for the Indians job, just to prepare him for his interview with Tampa Bay.
Kevin's never managed anywhere, correct?
No.
Not in the minor leagues, not anywhere. But he is really thought highly of in the baseball world.
Kevin Kiermaier flies out to the center field. Kevin Cash, as we mentioned, was the Blue Jays opening day starter in 2004. He was catching Roy Halladay. He is like Devin Travis for a couple of different reasons. Kevin Cash, like Travis, played in the Little League World Series, and they both played at Florida State. R.A. Dickey had a little rough spot in the fourth and gave up back-to-back singles to start the inning, and then walked in a pair of runs. He has relocated the strike zone.
Yeah, he's mixed in some fastballs now. That first pitch to Tim Beckham was a fastball followed by a hard-moving knuckleball. Now he'll reach back and try and throw another hard knuckleball to finish him off.
Beckham had a good hack at that pitch outside.
That's 80 miles an hour. That is a hard knuckleball.
That's only 3 miles slower than Burley's fastball.
Don't tell him that.
He knows that. Another 0-2 pitch. Fouled over the screen, out of play.
Blue Jays have not been pushing their starters here the first week of the season, so this will probably be RA's final inning. He is up over 100 pitches.
There's Burley, and there's a strikeout. So R.A. Dickey, he does his job. He ties his side in order. Now it's over to the hitters. It's a 2-1 ball game. Dalton Pompey will lead things off. He's off to a good start. This is his first home opening day with the Blue Jays.
Junior Jays Saturday presented by Boston Pizza. The Blue Jays facing the Braves at 107. Special price kids tickets in the 200 and 500 level outfield seats. After the game, kids 14 and under can run the bases just like the pros. Go to BlueJays.com for tickets.
Junior Jays Saturday, always a popular event with the youngsters here. Blue Jays need to get some base runners. It'll be 2, 3, and 4 in the Blue Jays lineup. Dalton Pompey, Jose Bautista, and Edwin Encarnacion.
That's why you saw the fake bunt by Dalton Pompey. Get some base runners. Get some guys on when the middle of that lineup comes up in Bautista, Encarnacion, and Donaldson.
Got a pretty good pitch to hit up out over the plate. Blue Jays just haven't been able to do anything against Odorizzi. This is his 4th career start against the Jays. One thing that's kind of interesting is Blue Jays have never hit a home run against Jake Odorizzi. They're a home run hitting ball club.
Yeah, for all the home runs that they hit, they have not been able to touch him up. It's only been 3 games. And you can see he throws very hard. What has gone up, though, is his strikeout percentage every season since he's been in the big leagues.
Pompey understands his job right now. That's to get on base, set the table for the big guys. There's one of the big guys. He strikes out. 1 down. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. Adam Jones is off to a good start. That's his 3rd home run of the season. And for Jones, he now has 9 RBIs. Wei-Yin Chen is on the mound for Baltimore. He is now out of the game. He went 6 innings, allowed 2 runs on 4 hits. Tommy Hunter into the game. 1 out. R.A. Dickey has gone 6 innings, and Roberto Osuna is loosening up. Looks like he may come into the game to start the 7th.
Yeah, you can see John Gibbons looking over that card, looking for the matchups that work for him.
Something has out on the field. It might be a baseball from somewhere. Now the ball boy down the right side has picked it up. Chris Guccione, the home plate umpire, saw something out in right and stopped the play.
Well, he was all over that, wasn't he?
Bautista fouls off that pitch, and Odorizzi has been aggressive. Well, he has been coming at these Blue Jays. He retired 12 straight before Pilar looped a little double into right field, and on the next pitch, Devin Travis drove him in.
With 2 strikes, he likes to either throw his fastball or the splitter. That time he's just off the plate with a little cutter, but those are the 2 pitches, if you look percentage-wise, between the 2 of those with 2 strikes, almost 90%. You're going to get one of the other. And right now, Bautista's thinking right along with him.
Well, Rene Rivera, the catcher, understands the significance of this at bat. It's a 1-run game. You got a home run hitter at the plate. He asked for a pitch, and Odorizzi shook him off, so he went out to the mound and talked about it. Rivera didn't seem to be in agreement with his young pitcher. Another threat behind Bautista.
That's where the scouting reports come in, right? They have faced Bautista many times, the Tampa Bay Rays. They know what he likes to do with 2 strikes, what he's looking for.
Going away. Just off the plate, and Odorizzi thought it was strike 3. He had turned his back on the umpire, thought it was strike 3, and he expected Bautista to be called out. Edwin Encarnacion said, man, that was a close one. And Bautista walks. Boy, what a good at-bat for Jose. Took a couple of borderline pitches.
Those are the type of at-bats that we saw from Jose from the first pitch of last season to the last. He was so consistent in his approach at the plate, just like that. If the pitcher's going to pitch around him and they're going to start nibbling on those corners, Jose is going to take his share of walks.
A year ago, Bautista had a .403 on-base percentage. He walked 100 times, 104 to be exact, the 3rd time in his career. He had 100 walks. So now Encarnacion at the plate. Boy, you just think if they continue to pitch Encarnacion away, he can drive something up the alley. I mean, there's a gaping hole between first and second.
If they pitch him away, wouldn't shock me if he took 1 shot. There's 1 shot over there.
He was all over that pitch.
There it is. You can see the frustration. He was thinking about that pitch. He got that pitch, and he just got underneath it. Fastball away. He swings, and watch the reaction. That's the ball I wanted to drive into right center field.
Encarnacion has 7 hits for the season, 2 to center and 1 to right. So he's not a dead pull hitter right now. 0-2 off the plate outside. I mean, naturally, you don't want Edwin thinking about singles to right.
No.
But in a 1-run game with 2 strikes, if you can dribble something through the right side, you push Bautista at least to second and bring Donaldson to the plate.
Probably the 3rd. With that ball in the outfield, just slowing down, the game playing a little bit slower now.
Hot shot. Cabrera bobbles it, and Bautista is going to be out. Encarnacion will reach on the fielder's choice. That looked like a tailor-made double play. Cabrera got ahead of himself, and all they can get is 1.
It was a tailor-made double play. Cabrera went just a little bit too quick. Watch this one. 1 hopper right to him, and in his haste to get the ball over to Beckham, drops it momentarily, and Jose just is out by an eyelash.
Cabrera played a lot of second base at the end of the season last year with the Washington Nationals. So he is back at his natural position at shortstop. Josh Donaldson 0 for 2.
Here's another batter that they will not come into. They're going to try and pitch to his weakness. But again, that was his best at bat. I thought yesterday, the ball where he drove to right center field.
He hit a double in that game that sliced away from Adam Jones. And that came in the 4th inning. Donaldson had a 3 RBI game on Friday night in Baltimore. Switch hitting first baseman Justin Smoke is on deck. 3-0. He got the green light and hit it right to the shortstop. Didn't hit it hard, but right at Beckham. Blue Jays leave a base runner. We've played 6. It's a 2-1 ball game. the show. Prior to the game, PlayStation provided us with a prediction of who they thought the Blue Jays player of the game would be tonight. They picked the starter, R.A. Dickey.
And they were close. They said he was going to go 7 innings, give up 2 hits and 1 earned run. He came real close. 6 innings, actually gave up 3 hits and 2 earned runs. Strikeout total was twice as many as the show thought was going to happen for R.A. Dickey. 6 innings and 6 strikeouts, not bad.
Pretty good outing. Blue Jays have been shut down on 1 run and 2 hits. Now the 20-year-old Osuna will make his 4th appearance. Roberto Osuna.
Here are his numbers. Fastball, slider, changeup anytime. 3 games, he's got 6 strikeouts.
He threw 11 pitches yesterday afternoon in Baltimore, 9 for strikes. He's got a good arm and a very good delivery. He'll get it up there at 97 miles an hour. Top of the order for the Rays, De Jesus, Souza, and Cabrera. Fly ball, that's going to chase Pilar all the way to the warning track. De Jesus gave it a ride, but it's a fly ball out.
You know what's so impressive with Osuna, you mentioned the 97 miles an hour and you mentioned the strikeouts and all that, but it's just free and easy motion. And as a hitter, when you see a guy who's that fluid, all of a sudden that ball's on top of you and you don't have a lot of time to react. I think that's why he's getting a lot of strikeouts.
He overmatched Chris Davis yesterday with that high fastball. He struck out Davis in the 7th. Struck out Steve Pearce and Chris Davis, 2 good fastball hitters. 97 with ease. Inside. This is Steven Souza Jr. He's the right fielder. There's a high fly ball into right. Batista waits for it. 2 up, 2 down for Osuna. Osuna's had Tommy John surgery. Made just 8 starts last season coming back from Tommy John surgery. He pitched in Dunedin, total of 7 games. Made 7 starts, pitched just 22 innings. The remarkable number for me, coming into this season, Roberto Osuna has pitched a total of 109 innings in professional baseball.
None of them over A-ball?
Highest he got was Dunedin. Of course, he pitched in Mexico professionally, but since he's signed with the Blue Jays in 2011, he's only thrown 109 innings.
I heard Alex Anthopoulos talking before the ball game on the pregame show about Osuna, that he was probably the biggest surprise in spring training. And that was because of the surgery that he just had. He just came back from last season. That they did not think that he'd be able to get to the big leagues this quickly.
And the breaking ball bounced into dirt. Well, and I think the biggest surprise is the fact that the velocities come back. And that's generally the first thing that comes back for a starter, but he's got good command.
Good command. Throws it where he wants to it, especially with his changeup. That's the one that is impressive.
That's a changeup, but it's upstairs. 3 balls and a strike to the Rays shortstop, Asdrubal Cabrera. He's a good fastball hitter. He got a fastball and flies into center field. Pompey gets over and makes the catch. 3 up, 3 down for Roberto Osuna. We'll go to the bottom of the 7th. Blue Jays are down by a run on the Honda home opener. going toe-to-toe. Alex Rodriguez has driven in 4 runs tonight. And he has quickly become the Yankees' best player.
I didn't see that coming.
No, I didn't either. Actually, I have misspoke. I look back at Sunday's game when he drove in 4 runs against the Red Sox in the Sunday night game.
Still pretty good.
He's off to a good start. This says Justin Smoke. Blue Jays need to figure something out with Odorizzi.
It's a good, healthy cut right there. That's the kind of cut you want to see Justin Smoke taking. He challenged him finally with a fastball 1-1, and he just missed it.
Steve Jeltz is loosening up for Tampa Bay, and once again Tampa Bay has put together a pretty good bullpen start of this season. There's a chopper to first as Dykstra steps on the bag. 1 down.
The 2015 Honda CR-V is the official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays and Motor Trend's 2015 Sport Utility of the Year.
Great crowd on hand for the first home game of the season. 48,414 for the Blue Jays Honda home opener. It has been a good ball game. Right now the Blue Jays are on the wrong side of a 2-1 game. Kevin Pillar. Russell Martin. Kevin Pillar got the first hit for the Blue Jays in the 5th and scored their run.
I'd like to see Russell take one shot, just one shot this at bat right here, trying to hit a ball to right field to get on base.
Russell has 1 hit this season. Pulled off that pitch a bit.
Look at all of the area he has to work with, and now I think Tim Beckham, he moves right back through the middle, but he still has a big hitting area to go for on the right side.
The Rays have been consistent with their approach. They're playing the right-handed hitters to pull, and Odorizzi continues to pitch them away.
Pitch him away and take what he gives you.
High fly ball into right. Souza calling for it. 2 down. Well, the Blue Jays came into this game with a 4-2 record, and they have one get away from them in Yankee Stadium. On Wednesday night, they lost that one 4-3, but they bounced back and the next 2. Not much of a chance on Saturday when they lost 7-1. Ubaldo Jimenez allowed them just 1 hit, and they came back with a big game, including that Batista 2-run homer in the 8th on Sunday. Rays are here for 4, and then the Atlanta Braves. They'll be right behind the Rays. This is a high fly ball into shallow right. Souza with a long run gets there. Another quick inning. 3 up, 3 down. The Jays go quietly in their half of the 7th. Through 8, Odorizzi in charge.
want the Grand Slam combo. Thursday, April 23rd, Blue Jays host the Orioles at 7:07. The combo includes a ticket to the game, hot dog, nachos, popcorn, peanuts, an apple, and a soft drink. Tickets start at $45. Go to BlueJays.com for details. I think I may be getting one of those that night, Buck.
Barry, that sounds like a good deal. Might want to get 2 of them. Blue Jay fans anxious for a rally here late in the game, and Osuna standing on the mound. He had a good inning in the 7th. Now he'll start to Evan Longoria. Top of the 8th. 48,414 for the first game of this homestand. Roberto Osuna had a quick inning in the 7th. 3 fly ball outs. Evan Longoria got 0 for 3 so far tonight. Osuna and his bullpen partner Miguel Castro have been nearly inseparable throughout spring training into the regular season. And about 2 weeks into the spring training schedule, they approached Pete Walker, the pitching coach, and asked if they could go on all the road trips, even when they weren't pitching. Osuna mentioned they'd like to go down to Port Charlotte to see the Rays. They wanted to see what Evan Longoria looked like, how you get him out. So they made all the road trips together, and it really speaks volume about their desire to not just get to the big leagues, but to become good pitchers.
That was about the time that it looked like both of them had a chance of making the team. And kudos to them to see that, want to be a part of that. He also had the Rays talking to themselves, Osuna did, when they faced him in Dunedin.
Breaking ball outside.
Struck out Evan Longoria on a changeup. I remember that game. And they're like, who's this guy? Where'd he come from?
Desmond Jennings is on deck. It's a high fly ball. Pompey, the center fielder, takes charge and makes the catch. 4 fly ball outs for Osuna. Osuna pitched for the Mexico City Reds, a AAA team, professionally as a 16-year-old. He pitched over 22 innings. His father, Roberto, was the pitching coach. So he was around older players since being a teenager. That's why he has so much composure and poise.
Oh, yeah. He looks like he has been in the big leagues 5 or 6 years. He does not look intimidated. You watch him around the ballpark and around the hotels and everything. He feels like and looks like he belongs.
Oh, 0-2 to Jennings. Red Sox up over the Nationals. Kansas City beat Minnesota, and they have improved to 7-0 to start their season. Wow, what a pitch. He went upstairs with a fastball and then catches the quarter down and away to strike out Desmond Jennings.
As a hitter, that ball looks like it's down and away, but he's got that ability to carry the fastball. Watch this. He goes fastball, and it stays right on line on the outside corner. There's no dip. Stays on line, and he can carry that fastball through the strike zone.
At 97, it doesn't have time to dip. This is Alan Dykstra, the first baseman. The Rays have really been hit hard with the injuries. They currently have 8 players on the DL that would be on this team, including their regular first baseman, James Loney. They have 2 starting pitchers in Cobb and Drew Smiley that will be back very soon, and a third that might be back by June. Matt Moore They have their closer on this shelf, Jake McGee, and another starting pitcher, Alex Colomé, who dealt with pneumonia all spring long. He's still on the DL.
And for years we talked about the Rays not getting hit by the injury bug.
98.
Reaching back for a little something extra. They wanted that one up. And he missed his spot. Now he can go change up here.
He did, but he bounced it. Catcher Rene Rivera is on deck. Full count, 2 outs. The Rays batting in the 8th. Russell Martin can't believe it, and Dykstra takes ball 4. So that's the first base runner Osuna has allowed.
Yeah, neither can I. That one looked like it was rising right through the strike zone, and it caught the upper parts of the strike zone, but it's called a ball. Now Rays are going to bring in a pinch runner.
So Dykstra is out. He's been aboard twice. Finishes up 1 for 3 with a walk. Logan Forsythe is the pinch runner. Osuna jumps right ahead of the catcher Rene Rivera. Strike 2. This is the aspect of poise that we've seen all throughout the time we have seen Osuna. He walks the guy ahead of him and then comes right back and gets ahead.
On a borderline pitch. And then blows 2 fastballs by Rivera.
On the ground, Reyes hits short. He'll go to second, and the Rays leave a base runner. We'll go to the bottom of the 8th. The Blue Jays trail 2-1. Now it's time for Blue Jays Central Update. Here's Jamie Campbell and Greg Zorn. Opener, and tonight one lucky fan won a Honda, a 2015 Honda CRV, and that is Dave Gardner from Honda Canada, presenting the keys to a new Honda CRV to one lucky fan. And you know, once you come to the ballpark, and you never know, it might be your lucky night. Honda with a terrific history of teamwork with the Blue Jays. Logan Forsythe takes over defensively after coming into the game as a pinch runner. Devin Travis has driven in the only Blue Jays run of the night that came in the 5th. Off the end of the bat.
Boy, that's where Odorizzi's been so good tonight. Fastball takes a little something off, and you can see Travis was out in front of that. He's only thrown now 100 pitches as he works here in the 8th inning. So he's been very economical as well.
Little tapper out in front of home. It takes a funny bounce on Rivera, but he stays with it. Well, that was a good athletic play, as Rivera anticipated that ball would bounce a little more forward toward the mound. It looked like it had some spin on it. He made a good play.
Had some serious English on it. It looked like he was giving way for his pitcher to field that ball. Right off the plate, out in front of home plate. Looks like he's going to give way, and that came back on him. Told you this new surface here at Rogers Center is tricky. It's going to take a while for the players to get used to it.
Reyes goes after the first pitch, and 2 quick outs here in the 8th. Odorizzi has really baffled the Blue Jays hitters. He has shut them down on 2 hits. They were back-to-back 2-out hits in the 5th, and that's been it.
They played a single into a double, and then the base hit by Travis, or it'd be 2-0. He'd have a shutout going.
Up the middle. Cabrera behind second in time. Another ground ball out. Odorizzi, 2 hits through 8 innings. It took him just 5 pitches in the 8th. Into the ball game to start the 9th inning. Roberto Osuna goes 2 innings. Now Luke trying to keep it a 1-run game here in the 9th.
Aaron just pitched in yesterday's ball game, and then he won for the first time this season. This is his 4th game already this year. Luke was the winning pitcher in yesterday's game, pitching an inning and 2/3 and having 1 strikeout.
He threw 20 pitches in that ball game yesterday, and Luke has had some trouble occasionally on back-to-back outings. So Brandon Guyer has come on as a pinch hitter. He's batting for Kevin Kiermaier. Kevin Cash has done a nice job of getting everybody into the mix early in the season. This is their 7th game, just like the Blue Jays. Guyer has 10 at-bats.
Get that speed off that off the field. Take Kiermaier's bat out of the lineup.
Dyer hits it to the center fielder, Pompey. 1 down. We'll be right back at it tomorrow night. Daniel Norris will start that ball game, his second start of the season. He picked up his first big league win last time out against the Yankees. It all starts at 6:30. That's the pregame show with Jamie Campbell and Greg John. We'll be right after them, top of the hour, with the first pitch of the ball game.
They got a rookie throwing tomorrow, don't they?
Matt Andriese. They have so many starters on the DL, they've had to dig down into their depth. Jim Hickey talking to Odorizzi, and there's not much he can say about tonight other than great job.
Yeah, you were good. 2 hits, I guess so, against the Blue Jays. Blue Jays scored 10 runs yesterday against the Baltimore Orioles, and today just 2 hits. He wasn't walking anybody either. They weren't able to compound the problems for him with base on balls.
Just off the plate inside. Osuna worked 2 innings through 29 pitches. He was good again. He walked 1, struck out 1.
Well, you can't say enough about the bullpen. The job they have done. Yeah, they gave up 3 runs in New York. But yesterday, when they needed some shutdown innings against the Orioles as they were making their comeback, they gave up 1 hit.
Bullpen worked 4 2/3 against Baltimore and gave up the 1 hit. Loop strikes out Beckham. 2 down here in the top of the 9th.
He can get that fastball in to those right-handers. This looks like a changeup that he takes a little something off. Beckham thinks it's under his knees. This shot will show that it crossed home plate right at the knees for a strikeout.
This is another pinch hitter. This is Mikey Matuk. Matuk, a right-handed bat, batting for David DeJesus, second pitch hitter of the inning. He cuts on the first pitch.
That's what you want to do when you come off the bench. Don't get cheated.
DeJesus went 0 for 2 with a walk with the bases loaded. Picked up his 7th RBI. Tampa Bay scored there 2 runs in the 4th. Kevin Cash getting everybody involved. That's cued off the end of the bat. Mark gets it, but it's in foul ground. Fly ball down the right field line. Bautista over near the line in fair territory. Makes the catch. Aaron Luke retires the side in order in the top of the 9th. We'll go to the bottom of the 9th. It'll be Bautista, Encarnacion, and Donaldson. The Blue Jays down by a run. by the 2015 Honda CR-V, Motor Trend's 2015 Sport Utility of the Year.
Blue Jays just have one run, so the drive tonight is a line drive. You got Bautista robbed by the Gold Glover and Evan Longoria liner as he tries to drive that ball down the left field line. Robbed. That's the kind of night it has been for the Blue Jays.
There have only been 5 hits in the game. Bautista hit the ball harder than anybody in the Blue Jays lineup, and Longoria, the former Gold Glover, takes a hit away. But now the Blue Jays got a chance. Meat of the order. Bautista, Encarnacion, and Donaldson. New pitcher in the game is Brad Boxberger.
Well, they are missing Jake McGee, the closer. And the guy stepping up is Brad Boxberger, and he's as good as Jake McGee. Strikeout pitcher, good fastball, and a wicked changeup that he really complements that fastball with.
Boxberger has 2 saves. Trying to save it for Jake Odorizzi. Inside, Bautista. He'll make him work.
Well, he can choose now to sit on a fastball. Boxberger's got a good fastball. Does he challenge him and he tries to tie it up with one swing? Or is he looking to get on base?
Bautista is 2 for 2 against Boxberger. Taking all the way.
Challenged him with that fastball.
Brandon Guyer has taken over in left field. In right field, Desmond Jennings goes from left to right. Check that. Jennings is in center. Kiermaier is out of the game. Encarnacion is on deck.
Time to keyhole him right here. Look for the pitch that you want. You're thinking extra bases right now. You're not thinking a soft single.
Ball 4. Tying run is on base. Now for a preview of what's coming up on Sportsnet Central. Here's Marco Osman and Ken Reed. Thank you, Ken. Good crowd here for the Honda home opener. 48,414, and they'd love to see a walk-off win. Encarnacion is 2 for 3 against Boxberger.
Well, he's winding up for one, isn't he? He was laying back on that back leg, but they're keeping the ball away from him.
The Blue Jays have lost 3 straight home openers. Boy, you're right. He is back-legging it right here. Looking for something on the inner half that he can spin on.
Just loading up on that back leg and trying to track that ball. If he gets anything on the inner half, you're going to see a mighty swing. Told you.
That was a mighty swing. 1-2.
Watch Edwin. He had one thing on his mind right there. Now he's got the ability to dial it back with 2 strikes.
Two balls and 2 strikes. Tampa Bay scored 2 in the 4th. The Blue Jays scored their run in the bottom of the 5th. Off-speed pitch.
That's that 80-mile-an-hour changeup that Boxberger features.
Since 2012, Edwin Encarnacion has hit 114 home runs, just one fewer than Miguel Cabrera.
Big difference in the miles per hour. Fastball 94, changeup 80, 81. Edwin was right on that one.
Bounced foul.
Does he throw on 3 changeups in a row here?
Boxberger not wanting to give in after that wicked swing Edwin took on that good fastball.
3-2. He's thrown him a couple of changeups. But he is fouled off. Does he go back there?
Batista just wandering off the bag, has to dive back in. There goes Batista. Strikeout and throw him out. Rene Rivera throws a strike to second. Batista thrown out. Rivera is now 3 for 3 in throwing out base runners, and he threw a strike to second base.
He got a great pitch to handle. They went back to the fastball. They did not challenge him. High fastball, you just stand up and throw a strike. Beckham applies the tag, and just like that, a strike him out, throw him out, double play.
Josh Donaldson takes one inside. Downer Navarro has grabbed the bat. He has moved out on deck. If the Jays can keep the inning alive, he will bat for Justin Smoke.
Just off the plate. Hasn't been a strike all night. Chris Guccione has been very consistent with that outside pitch.
Donaldson hit 29 home runs last year. Had a home run cut on an off-speed pitch. Donaldson made the All-Star team for the first time last year. Fly ball deep to right. Ball is carrying into the corner and caught. Donaldson gave it a ride. Souza stayed with it, made the catch in right field, and the Blue Jays lose a tough one, 2-1 on opening night.
Outfielders were playing a little deep. They didn't want to have any doubles, nothing over their head to get that tying run to scoring position. So that helped Souza into the corner. Watch him go deep. He doesn't give up on it, stays right with it, and right at the base of the wall, hauls it in for the final out. Josh Donaldson thought he had tied it. So did Boxberger. Sigh of relief.
Blue Jays lose a tough one, only 5 hits in the game. Both the Tampa Bay Rays runs came in on bases loaded walks. More coming up next on Sportsnet Ontario West and East. It's Sportsnet Central. More baseball coming up on Sportsnet Pacific. The Mariners and the Dodgers. Thanks for watching. We'll see you tomorrow night right back here at Rogers Center.